Hi everyone, welcome to Who Said What with your hosts Heba and Nira. We're two sisters in our 40s with lots of stories to share. Having lived across Egypt, the US, Saudi, Kuwait, Dubai, and Europe, we share a unique mix of cultural insights and fresh perspectives. In each episode, we dive into the unfiltered sides of entrepreneurship, motherhood, relationships, and the crazy dynamics of family life. Well, actually, of our crazy family life. Ever wonder how cultures shape our ideas of success, love, and happiness? And why some topics are completely taboo in one country, yet casual conversation in another? Well, we're here to spill the tea, no sugarcoating, just real talk and a lot of laughs. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into another episode of Who Said What. Hi everyone, we're back with another episode of Who Said What. I'm Heba.
And I'm Nira.
And today we thought of talking about dating apps because I find it extremely interesting.
Because she doesn't have to deal with it.
I'm not single, so I find it very intriguing how people get on dating apps and how everybody's on dating apps nowadays.
Yeah, whatever.
I have guy friends and girlfriends who are on it, and the two are very different the way they view them. So hence, I can foresee why there are problems.
Well, actually, that's interesting because what are some of the differences of how they see it?
Well, guys are doing it for more convenience because, obviously, it's easier to have somebody. Okay, I have a friend of mine who was on dating apps. At the beginning, it's like now he's become an experienced. Like before, he was an amateur. Now he's a pro at it. But he basically
knows how to filter the crazies.
He basically what he wants it for works well for him because he wants somebody to have a nice time with, and he's honest about it, and that's it. And that's how. And he goes for what he wants. He's just very honest and clear from the beginning. He wants somebody to have a good time with, or and if it works, it's because men are more maybe more forward about these things. So he's getting what he wants. The girl always has the hopes. I mean, the few girls I know that are on dating apps, they're trying to find something meaningful, right? They're not doing it for convenience. It's not like they can't find as easily men, maybe because people don't go out as much. So when they find them on dating apps, they want it to be more of a meaningful relationship. I mean, from the girls I know.
Well,
how about you, Nira? Have you been on dating apps?
I was on one for 10 days and I got off as fast as possible.
Which one?
It cured me permanently of any kind of dating apps. I was on Tinder.
When did you get on it?
This was a long time ago.
How long ago?
Damn. This was before COVID, so it must have been at least, well, when Tinder was a thing and there was really nothing else. So I wish I could remember when that was. Maybe
5-6 years ago?
Oh, no, way longer.
Longer than that? Okay.
Yeah, longer than that. And this friend of mine was on it, and then he's like, you should get on it. And I was just like, guy, of course. And I said, okay, fine. Why don't you just do it for me? And he linked it to my Instagram and Facebook page, which was disastrous. Like I felt.
So does that mean everybody on Instagram and Facebook can see that you're on Tinder? Or how does that happen? Why?
Everybody that's on Tinder sees it. You're on the opposite. Sees it. You're on Instagram. See what I'm saying? Like it's.
Oh, okay. So actually, the people that see you on Tinder can actually view your Instagram account.
Something like that. Something like that. I can't remember. It just really freaked me out. It really.
So why did you get on Tinder? Because you're.
Well, no, because obviously single, it's hard to meet people because unlike places, I'm gonna say places like the States.
Can I ask? What makes it hard to meet people?
I mean, everything, quite frankly.
Is it because you don't go out as much?
No,
or is it because
when I was kind of going out? If you're talking about 10 years ago, I was in my 30s. I was going out more than I go out now. But it just feels, okay, somebody was saying, you're not going to go to a bar to meet somebody that you want to date, or you're not going to go to a bar or a nightclub to meet somebody that you're going to date permanently, like a long-term relationship, because
right. That's how I met my husbands, and that's how I met all of my boyfriends. Right? I mean, at the time, that's how you met people.
It's different. But usually, like when you go to a bar or you go to a club and you're drinking and you're partying, I think 60% of the time it always ends a certain way. So it's not necessarily that you're going to find a meaningful relationship. Everybody's there getting drunk and partying and looking to have a good time.
And everybody looks good when you're drunk. Looks better.
Well, that's another problem.
But by the way, I'll tell you something. It's the same thing, by the way, on these dating apps, because these dating apps are photoshopped. I have friends that told me they were like the pictures they saw and they were like, oh my God, she looks amazing on the picture. And then he's like, he was so funny. He told me, I saw her. I was like, oh my God, this is a disaster. It was like a shallow. It was like a shallow Hal moment. He's like, I didn't know what to do with myself. And he made up. No, this is so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. He made up this whole story about how he couldn't go back up to the bar because he had some problem that happened. So he fled the scene. So in that sense, you're getting really duped sometimes on dating apps. I'm not saying all the time, but I'm saying a lot of the times you look at these pictures and some of these women look phenomenal. And some of the men look amazing too. And then you're kind of like...
So that's the thing. That's the other thing. That's the other thing that's like, I remember I got on it. So I got on it for 10 days and boy, oh boy, did I get harassed. Truecaller had just come out at the same time. So Truecaller, I'm sure everybody knows what it is. It's basically...
Yeah, you can get the name of the person who called you.
So I started getting, okay, so Tinder, you swipe right if you're interested, you swipe left if you're not interested. Right? So I was swiping left the whole time, by the way. And the other thing that they don't tell you is, okay, so most of these applications are free, but if you want the premium clientele, you have to pay for it. So the premium clientele tend to be the better. Like if you don't pay, you're getting like the bottom of the barrel kind of crap, you know, seriously.
I
had people liking my thing. أبو مش عارف مين رجله على like one leg on a felucca, wearing these hot shorts in the ship and the hair. I'm like, oh. I'm like, no.
Why is it kind of romantic to be
Oh, please. I started getting phone calls. And everybody's just like, I don't know how they put my name in.
You put your number on it?
I didn't, but if you take my name and you put on Truecaller, you'll get my number.
I just think, listen, there's something...
So I got people calling me. And people WhatsApping me. And I'm like, dude, no. I didn't ask you to call. And then, of course, like, I told this one guy kept harassing me. I was like, dude, I was only on it for 10 days. It was a mistake. I got off of it. He's like, well, if you have psychological issues, he's trying to make it like I have a problem. I'm like, sweetie, I don't even know you.
He's trying to mindfuck you and you're not on Tinder and he's like dating you.
He's trying to mindfuck me and he doesn't even know me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I don't even care about you. So whatever comments you have to say about my psyche is like, I don't give a rat's ass about. So it was just ridiculous. And I felt it was really such an invasion of my privacy. And then you have like these really hot guys that are like, oh, I'm coming to Cairo. I'd love to meet you. And I'm just like, if you're this hot and you work for the British Royal Navy or whatever, why are you on Tinder? Like, do you need to be on Tinder? You know what I'm saying? And then the picture's like, he's really good looking. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure you can date anyone you want. So there's really so your mind is like, there's no reason for you to be on Tinder. What you're looking for a meaningful relationship on Tinder, you can't find walking down the street.
I don't know. I find it weird.
It was crazy.
It's weird because I'll tell you something, and I know everybody is on dating. A lot of people are on dating apps, so I'm not saying that. I'm sure you can find some very interesting people, and you can probably get into a relationship.
I know people that have,
but for me, I find it just feels weird that first of all you're on an app and you're looking at. This person would be looking at your profile and hundreds of other women, right? So it feels like he's picking. I don't like that feeling. It's like he's like
online shopping. He's like online shopping.
Exactly.
You know,
online shopping.
I don't like the sweater, but this sweater, I like the color in this sweater a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go with this one, but maybe it won't fit right. There's just something about it that just.
I wonder if there's anybody who's alive.
I've known people that have met their husbands and wives on dating apps. Like, so it does, it does happen. Do I think
really have they lasted?
Well, I don't talk to the girl who met her husband on the dating app, so I don't know. But sometimes it will have. Maybe it works because you are foregoing or not foregoing all the superficial crap that most people think about. You're getting to know the person, not physical, not what they look like. So maybe sometimes I'm assuming it can be much more meaningful and deep kind of relationship.
Well, I have a friend who actually met a girlfriend that he's in a long-term relationship with her, and they're a very good match. But said he was super honest about what he wanted, and she happened to be at the same stage in life as him, so it worked out well.
God, I'm dying to know who this is.
But I have another friend of mine, and that she's found disasters, like it's a disaster, like one after the other. So I guess it's. I like that analogy that you had. It's like online shopping. For me, I would feel like a piece of meat on that thing.
And that's the way they.
And by the way,
they approach.
I was on a dating app once. Okay.
When was this? 1995?
No, the beginning of this year. But I was. No. But I was like I didn't tell you this before. But I hijacked my friend's dating app. Okay. So she was doing it, and she was showing me, and she kept on going swiping through, and I was like, oh my God, why are you this guy's cute. And I felt like I'm treating these men like pieces of meat. But because I'm not in the market or anything, so I took her phone and I started by, I swiped through. I think she was gone. She left her phone with me for like 30 minutes. She was doing something. And I started texting like all these hot guys.
Wow, Heba.
It was hilarious. And I was like, and it was like really funny text because I'm not like, it was, and we had conversations, like sparked conversation back and forth. And so I was basically the matchmaker in this situation. But she never went out with those guys. And I told her she was dating a guy that was not great for her. And I kept on telling her, this guy looks like a nice guy, and she was not,
For me, so I'm just really skeptical. Like, there are so many sickos out there.
Yeah.
So there's part of me was like,
I would be worried.
There's so many, as I feel there's so many good things that come out of it, relationships, but there's also, you meet a lot of
I'm old school. I like to meet somebody that I meet in person,
but that's
shit-faced, at the bar.
It's much harder to meet. Like, obviously, in other places, you can go to, in the States, when I was there, you meet people in coffee shops. You'll be sitting in a coffee shop reading a book, and somebody will come talk to you. Oh, did you read that book? I read it. It's really good, and stuff like that. So there's more of an intellectual kind of way of talking to people when you meet them face to face.
Not only that,
there are book clubs that you can.
Not only that, it's a more
you can do when you meet people.
It's a more spontaneous, like romantic, like I don't know. It feels nicer to have that spark, something.
I'll tell you what it's like.
A little bit of a spark, as opposed to being so clear cut. Like you have your resume. It's like your personal resume on these dating apps, and then you kind of, you're selected or not selected.
Basically, it's not. This means war. Where Reese Witherspoon meets what's his name?
Oh my God, Tom Hardy and Chris Pine.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
I know that's one of my favorite movies.
Yes, I know it's one of your favorite movies. That's why I brought it up. But it's like obviously movies paint it in this picture where oh, she's really hot and they're both really hot and they can't find. I'm like, really? Tom Hardy can't find somebody? Like, give me a break, people.
He's so cute.
Chris Pine was a slut in the movie, but whatever.
Chris Pine, he's really good looking.
He was just trying to widen his dating pool. But
no, he wasn't on the dating app in the movie.
Oh no, that's why he met her in the video.
He met her at the video store. Tom Hardy was on the dating app because he was freshly divorced, and he's like, I don't know. I don't know why. Why does he need to be on the dating? I'll date him.
See?
The hell?
You see, that's my point. I'm like, why do you need to be on the? But you have opportunities to meet people when you're abroad. I find here.
No, but I think people abroad do it more than here. Or
they're on dating apps as much, but you can still. I find that the pool of people that you can meet is much larger than here in Egypt. Here in Egypt, you're bound to know if you meet somebody, there is a 50% chance, if not more, that they know somebody.
Every single friend of yours.
They know somebody that you know, or it's like that guy I met that I dated. He dated like 4 girls that I know. And I had never met him before in my life, and I don't know him. And,
yeah, it's true. It was weird.
And literally 4 girls I know. So I'm just like, this is a bit too close to home. But it's even like those networking, that networking event that we go to. I'm not going to name the name.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's a great way to, like, at the beginning, it was a great way to meet people that were all entrepreneurs and we're all starting our own business. But by the 4th or 5th time I went, it became a place where men and women go to hook up.
Yeah, that's not
especially the men. Especially the men. Have you seen the kind of the places, people in this country sometimes? Like, please, no, give me a break. You know, it's like, yeah, no. So it was just one of those things where the dynamics of the event change, where it's you're sharing ideas, you're talking about your business, somebody else is talking about their business. Now it's just like, can I meet somebody to hook up with the event? That's what it feels like, and that's what it is, because now you have all these random people that are there.
I wonder what the statistics are of these dating apps, if people are actually finding meaningful relationships or if they're just like fucking around. I mean, like I said, I think men's objective for being on these dating apps are very different from women's. And women, no matter, I mean,
No, but
okay, I'm gonna make I might be making sweeping generalization. I feel like most women, if they're single, they still want to find something more meaningful, and men are generally okay with having flakes.
yes, that's true. But like a lot of, I mean, I know a couple of guys that are on dating apps as well. The girls are freaky deaky too, by the way. The girls are on there to just have fun.
But by the way, I feel that this is,
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, good.
you know, I feel like the Egyptian, I think women in general are becoming like that because to cater to men, I think. I don't think women are interested so much in fucking around like men are.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I really feel when I talk to you, I really feel backwards. I really feel like I'm shouting, I'm living on
No, backwards. You're just very, very traditional. Very traditional.
but I'm not really.
But you are really, you know, like,
No,
okay,
you know what it is?
you're saying you're not really,
You know what it
you're
is?
comparing
Actually-
yourself to the other people in your generation.
You know what my friend told me, which is true.
Huh?
Maybe it doesn't show, but I am a romantic. I'm always feel like there's hope in finding like this like nice relationship. They don't need to be perfect. They're never going to be perfect, but this like, you know, like
I'm romantic too,
I
but
like to meet somebody in person. It's that's what's nice about it.
yeah,
I don't like this like dating apps.
well, Heba, it's like, okay, for example, Heba and I went to the opening, but this was a while ago. Was it 8 years ago, of this cigar lounge at the Four Seasons? Was it the Four Seasons?
Oh yeah, no, that was
First
6
small.
years ago.
Was it 6 years ago?
Yeah, because I'd had the kids, so right, 6, 7 years ago.
So 6, 7 years ago. So Heba and I are at the opening of this bar lounge, which was kind of cool. Met people, and then
That's right. You had somebody.
I met this guy,
And he's cute.
He was really cute, and we're sitting and talking, and I'm having a good time, and he's really he's nice, and of course, you know, I have Heba and Haizam in the background. They're like kind of like winking and giving me a thumbs up, whatever. And then all of a sudden, and I'm thinking, okay, he seems really sweet. Turns out, I actually also we know his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, he made this comment. Of course, by default, because I'm single, the first thing I look at when I'm start talking to a guy is if he's wearing a wedding ring. It is a thing that
And sometimes it's more attractive to women, you know, when they are wedding
Not for me.
Wedding ring.
not for me, but you can't help it, because there's so many married men that flirt like they're single. So, and if they're nice,
Fuckers.
and if they're nice, they'll be wearing a wedding ring. So at least I can see it. So this guy, so I did look at his hand, and he wasn't wearing a wedding ring. So I'm sitting and talking to him, and then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh yeah, my wife and my kids." I'm like, thinking, what the hell are you doing flirting? So all of a sudden, Heba and Haizam are like behind me, like this, so I'm like, and really loud, like I couldn't care if he heard me. I'm like, he's married, and I'm like, let's not talk about this anymore. And not just that, turns out that his wife is good friends with one of my best friend.
OMG.
So this is Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Like, you meet a guy,
Incestuous.
yes, it's exhausting, because in Egypt, the pool of people you meet is so small.
So why don't you get back on dating? Why don't you get back on the dating app?
No, because
Maybe you'll find somebody. Maybe you can do like the whole, go to like one of these specialized ones, like,
oh no, let's not talk. Okay, the other thing that was really, remember when I got set up on, like, what was it, 3 blind dates?
when did that happen?
That happened years ago when I was in.
Huh? Where was I?
It's really interesting.
No, wait. When did this happen? Where was I? Why didn't I know about this blind date?
On one of them. Remember?
Mom set you up on a blind date?
Yeah, with the brother of one of the people who used to go to her store. He was a pilot.
Ooh,
No,
sexy.
no. And it's
What happened there? What happened there?
oh my God. I sat down, and the man did not stop talking about himself. It was 2 hours of me going, And then my mom asked his sister, and then he told his sister, she's too immature for me. I'm like, how the fuck would he know? He didn't even let me speak. He didn't even let me speak. I've said hi. I said bye. That's it. I shared nothing about my personal life, nothing about me, nothing. So it's interesting though, because you find guys get on these, like, let's say, I'm generalizing here, but let's say 50% of the guys get on these dating apps to, have something fun and moving on, right? It's really interesting when you meet guys on a blind date. It's like they're expecting like a coup de foudre, like love at first sight. I'm just like, how illogical is that? Yes, some of them, a couple of the guys that I dated, that went on the blind date, blind date with, thought so. Like that was a feeling I got from them. They're expecting to meet somebody that's just like knockout. That's gonna be like, it's ridiculous. It's illogical.
Yeah, well, I guess
really
people
is a
put a
lot.
lot of emphasis on looks, I guess. Men do. For them, the most important, the
women-
hook is not me. I'm not, yeah, and for me, I think most women are more interested in how a man acts,
Okay, that's
how he carries himself. It's much more important than,
I kind of disagree. I'll disagree in what sense. If for women, if it's not looks, it's the bank account. It's one of the two.
how about if there's, oh my God, I was listening to this thing and this guy was asking this woman, if you had to pick between a really rich guy a rich and handsome guy, but that cheated on you all the time, or between a guy who's broke but never cheated on you and was very romantic with you, which one would you pick? She picked the rich guy.
I might as well be
there
in
it
the shop
goes.
wherever I want to shop if he's actually cheating on me.
By the way, this is true, by the way. Like, always, relationships always end up not so great. So now when I see these things, I can understand it. Like, at least if you're miserable, you get to shop as opposed to being
Spend his money.
spending it on a yacht and shopping as opposed to being stuck in, like, I don't know, like a little hole in the wall.
Feels like.
But anyways, no, I don't think so. I think definitely a guy who has money is probably more attractive because that means he's successful. I'm talking about if he's self-made. He's successful. He's probably carries himself. He's got confidence. He's carries himself well. But that is attractive for a woman. It's not the money, I don't think. The looks, well, it depends.
So you're trying to tell me if a woman has never worked a day in her life, she's not going to, okay, don't take who you are as a person into account, the fact that you work and all of that stuff. But let's say a woman who doesn't want to work. She knows that her purpose in life, she doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to do any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? She wants to be taken care of. She wants to be a wife that your husband takes care of. You're going to marry a poor person that has no money but loves you? Or you're going to marry an ugly person that has money that will spend on you?
For sure, for sure.
Okay, there you go. She wants to. I mean, that's the thing. That's why I think, but men are doing that too now, where people look at the bank account as well. You know what I'm saying? The guy is like, oh, if I don't have to worry about her financially, it's just easier, even if they're making a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah, because life has become probably more difficult and more expensive and all of that. But I think also,
Like the guy, what's that billionaire guy in India? Like, is he?
oh yeah,
is
Ambani?
Yeah,
One who had
is he like super hot?
No.
Okay, is his wife better looking than him?
Yep.
Okay, do you think she married him for his looks or for his money?
I would say his money.
Oh, there you go. I made my point. I made my point. Okay, there are a lot of not good-looking, really wealthy men that are married to super hot women, right?
Sure. For sure. I completely agree. So how about, like, since you're kind of still in the dating scene, I'm very curious. I want to live vicariously through you and like other people.
Why?
As
It's such a
single.
boring. It's such a boring
So-
scene these days.
Yeah, probably, I guess. But why do you think relationships have become less meaningful
I think.
and more like, I feel like they're more superficial, more about just like having fun, one night stands. There's a lot of this whole thing like friends with benefits thing, or have we moved on from that and become more than that? Like, has it evolved?
I think everybody, like a lot of people have a friend or friends with benefits that during their off season when they're not in a relationship they go to. But I mean, I'm also, I could be totally wrong. I think for me, just it's just not discouraging. It's so uninteresting.
Deb, what
Men have become to me, I'm just
what are you looking for in a relationship?
companionship.
What is companionship?
Somebody that you can have fun with, that you can share your time with, that you have similar,
Okay, no, for you specifically, what is it?
nothing. I mean, for me, it's just somebody that's not married, somebody that's not in a relationship, doesn't have a girlfriend, somebody that likes to have fun, but not this excessive having fun of doing drugs and drinking nonstop, which is also not something I enjoy, which makes it harder here, by the way, because for some odd reason, everybody our age wants to get hammered every night.
Do they?
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's
At our age?
You'd be surprised. That's the shocking part. Like, I'm like, at our age, I'm like, aren't you guys?
Didn't we say that, like, isn't our age basically the new midnight, 8 p.m. is the new midnight?
The problem with the people our age group, but
No, are you guys not? I mean, that is the most amazing thing, the most amazing time of the day for me is after the kids are in bed, I get to just sit and do nothing for an hour or two and then go to bed.
but you're so
I can't imagine going out.
you're still married, but you have a lot of people. Well, I don't want to say, every time I say a lot
Maybe
of
I'm able
people,
to
I feel like every time I say a lot of people, I feel like I'm generalizing. But I think the problem sometimes is that at my age, you have the people that are single are in certain categories. So you have the 10 years younger than me, 5 years younger than me, 6 years younger than me. And I met these people either at the gym or they sparked up a conversation with me on Instagram, and because we have friends in common. So the only reason,
Why doesn't anybody spark a conversation with me? Nobody does.
because you're more insulted, clearly. Don't be insulted. You sit and post pictures of your kids all the time. So it's probably,
Or I should post pictures of myself, Mija. I don't go in the gym, but
in a bikini. So the other problem is I feel that people, let's say our age, a lot of them, I'm not saying a lot. I know a few that are divorced, right? So when you've been in a relationship for, let's say, 10 years, 12 years, whatever, 5 years, 6 years, and all of a sudden, or you got married fresh out of college and you did what you're supposed to do. You had the 2 kids, and then life got really, really boring with this person, and you finally got divorced. All of a sudden, they revert back to their teenage years. It's like they want to party like it's 1999 because they didn't party in 1999 like it was 1999. So now they're making up for lost time. So they're making up for lost time now, but they have more money. So the more money thing means that they can drink a lot more, they can do more hardcore drugs, all of these. They have the money to spend on things that are much more expensive that you could not afford when you're in your early 20s, let's say. But these days, people can afford it at any age. Crazy. So a lot of times if I meet like a married divorced person at our age, they're on a different level than I am on. I don't want to party very hard. Drinking doesn't interest me at all, especially the way I used to drink in our 20s. Remember? It's like, let's get sloshed every night. Having one glass, one vodka tonic or whatever is not enough. You have to have the whole bottle of tequila. So that
I love those days.
yeah, no,
I miss those days.
I don't miss those days because the recovery now at our age is way.
No, I know, but I miss them then because we used to go out partying 5 nights a week.
And you never got tired.
We'd
You get hammered.
we get back home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We go to work at 7. We wake up at 7 to go to work. It was amazing.
Yeah, you could.
It was so much fun, and you don't feel tired or anything. It's just like you can't wait to go out again. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
You can't do that. Like for me, it's just I can't. And like when I hear people my age, our age, they're like, "Oh yeah, I was out to 6 o'clock in the morning partying and stuff like that." Like in Sahel, it doesn't start before 1 o'clock in the morning. The nights, I'm like, yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning, I want to sleep. Like, see you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And tomorrow to me is tomorrow morning, and 9 o'clock in the morning. But they don't wake up till 12 o'clock.
Maybe that's why you're not in a relationship. Maybe it's you less boring and get out there, girl. Get on those drugs.
Start doing
Get trash.
get trash, and have fun. No, I mean, yeah. So it's just I bypassed that stage of my life. I'm somewhere else. So So now
Are you looking for a younger guy or an older guy? Somebody who's been married with kids or somebody's never been married before?
but they both have very weird expectations.
What's the expectations? I'm curious to hear. Now, what's the expectation of one who's been married and who has kids? He just wants to have fun.
Yes, exactly.
Because he's been like cooped up for a while. He needs to let loose.
And he wants to have fun, and I don't know, maybe the wife has become like old fuddy-duddy or something.
Hey, I take offense to that because I'm a wife.
I know, but some men, I think, I don't want to offend anybody, but I think some men, what happens is the women get into the ritual of being a wife and a mother and coming home. So I think it becomes boring.
He's boring to us too, okay?
I'm not saying
We're boring to them. They're boring to us.
and the women as well. You know what I'm saying? They get bored of the husband. I mean, the cheating happens on both sides now. It's not a male girl.
No, it's more male than it will.
You'd be surprised. Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of marriages that end because the woman cheated, not the man. So that happens. It's no longer. It's no longer. I mean, the majority. It's no longer the man that does all the cheating now. So it just. I forgot my train of thought. Heba, you threw me off.
You were talking about when men have weird expectations. You're talking about
So
men.
yes, so men. Okay, so
They're bored
older
with their
men married
wives.
and divorced. You're not sure what they want. Because I don't think they're sure what they want. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I'm free. I can do
living
whatever.
it up.
They're exactly.
I'm
They're
sure they
making
don't
up for
want
lost time.
I'm sure they don't want to basically get back into a serious relationship. I would think that's normal. It's like a woman. By the way, it's the same thing for women. We don't want to get into a serious relationship after.
But some of them, but there are always some that do. Now the younger age group. Oh boy, the younger age group.
We're talking about 20s and 30s.
No, I don't go 20s. About
30s.
Yeah, 30s, mid 30s. Early 40s. I mean, that's already 15 years younger than me.
Okay, so lay it on me. Tell me, what about those?
So the 30s, it's a MILF thing.
They want the older woman?
It's like a cougar. You know what I'm saying? They want the older cougar. That they just assume that since you're older, you don't have the issues that the younger girls might have.
You're more slutty and bendy?
Not more slutty and bendy, because I think the slutty is across the board now. It's not that much of an issue.
Yeah, you're less probably intimidated or
It's not an issue. You know, I mean, like, me fash, I can't do that because I'm still a virgin or whatever the fuck they say. But it just becomes I think the older women are just more casual about certain things.
because I think, I was just thinking about this the other day, because when you're in your 20s, when you have sex, you don't have sex because you actually enjoy it. Having sex kind of to please the guy, right? In your 30s, you become much more liberated. You become like, no, you're having sex more for your pleasure than that. Then when you're in your 40s, you're like,
And also, I think in your
completely
20s,
it's about you.
And exactly, but when you're in your 20s, you're so worried about what other people might say.
Yeah.
There's more. I mean, 30s. Once you start getting older,
That's what we were saying on our.
give less a shit about what people.
That's
say.
what we were saying in our episode last time. As a woman, as you get older, you don't really care about what other people think. You care way less. So obviously, in your 20s, obviously you're concerned about you don't want to be perceived as easy or something. In your 30s, less so. And in your 40s, you kind of don't care.
Sometimes you make them.
So I guess that's probably more attractive to younger men.
Yeah, it's more attractive. It's just
It's easier.
you're not going to have a fatal attraction moment. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to, sleep with this, but you could actually. Where the younger, I don't know. I really don't know, because the younger generation is pretty slutty on both sides, men and women. Like, wow. Like,
They're more liberated sexually.
no, forget liberated sexually. It's on another level. There's liberated on a sexual. They're more liberated, yes. But when it comes to more liberated sexually, it's like, holy cannoli, holy shit! They all need to stop watching porn. They all need to stop watching porn.
By the way,
Seriously.
by the way,
And the women are watching it just as much, if not more, than the men.
can I tell you crap? Can I tell you something? I was just listening to.
And that's when I feel really old.
I was listening to a podcast actually, and we'll wrap this up so we don't make it too long this episode. But I was listening to a podcast episode talking about how porn has completely distorted people's viewpoints and people's benchmarks. And actually,
It's horrible.
no, but some women will argue against. I think definitely this whole porn thing, that can be a whole topic in itself
Listen,
because
I
it's
think-
huge.
I think
Because they were saying now porn taban has gone up like
It's so
tenfold,
accessible.
100-fold. It's very accessible, and they say that people that start to watch porn younger actually develop more of an addictive personality. So they become addicted to different things, like not necessarily porn, but like other things. It's a huge thing. It's a huge topic to talk about. But I think
what it does though, because I'm living in it.
desensitizes it.
I'm living in it. That's the worst thing. It desensitizes you. You know what I'm saying? So you're not satisfied with
And by the way, I'll
the
tell you,
normal stuff.
I'm gonna tell you something.
It gets disgusting.
I'm gonna tell you. I think that's what's happening. I personally think that porn has ruined relationships in general because it's easier for a man to pleasure himself, and when you pleasure yourself on a regular basis through that, I can imagine that it wouldn't be as easy. It's not as interesting or not as satisfying in a personal relationship, you know. And this was on the podcast Diary of a CEO. And he was saying, he's like, porn is so much easier and so much more accessible because you just click a button and that's what you do. And then you can pleasure yourself that way.
God, this is gonna be another episode,
But
right?
but to have a relationship with somebody, he's like, it's work. You have to go out, you have to go to the gym, you have to go work so you can make money to take her on a date. You have to eat well, you have to look good, you have to make conversation, so you have to sound interesting. I don't know, maybe I know this may be a sweeping generalization, but I do think that the porn industry, it's huge now. And they say that the porn industry is like so much more than Netflix and all these streaming platforms combined.
I'm sure.
So basically, I personally think that relationships have changed because of that, because that is more accessible. It becomes more difficult for people, especially that people are on social media or on their phones and on their computers all the time, that you don't have that urge to go out and have like kind of a normal relationship.
Well, no. I feel like grandma. إيه الحاجات الوسخة دي? That's exactly what I feel like saying most of the time to like even when the guy starts talking to you, they're not flirting with you. They're like, oh, I want to do this. I'm like, oh God, you know, I'm like, oh, like no. Thank you. No, thank you. See you later.
Nira has the most interesting experiences
I'm
ever.
sure a lot of people have the same experiences as me. They just don't talk about it, or they do talk about it. But you haven't heard anything, Heba.
Yeah, nobody tells me anything.
Because you're so prudish that they're afraid to share these things
I'm
with
not
you.
prudish. I just don't.
Well, except for with what's his name, but you know, your gay friend. But that's because they are so vocal.
Cut that out.
But no, it's just it's. Dating and meeting new people has lost the intimacy and the flavor that it used to have, which makes it so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You look forward to seeing them the next time. You had a great date. Okay, I'm going to call you. Hopefully they don't wait 3 days to call you. And they finally call you, let's go out for another date. I'm like, great. And stuff like that. It's just, the dynamics have changed. And it's, to me, it's not in a good way. And
So would you get on a dating app again?
no, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't.
Okay. Anyways, okay, so I'm very curious to hear from people if like their experiences with dating apps, because I know it's a huge thing and a lot of people are on dating apps, and I think a lot of people are successful at finding
I
people.
believe they are. Just for me.
But I find I'm a little bit skeptical about it personally.
I'm weary about it. I just I don't know.
Yeah.
It actually makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It makes me,
I think so. But anyways, I think it's a bit odd, the whole thing.
but to each their own. If it works for you, it works for you. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah. Okay, so if anybody has anything they want to share with us about dating apps.
If you want us to talk more about something with regards to dating apps, or
Yes. If you have any questions that we want us to answer, we are more than willing to do that, because we know we do those Q&A episodes every once in a while. So on that note, please send us a DM on Who Said What Podcast on Instagram. And and subscribe to on all the podcast platforms, and write us a review, please.
and you can also find us on Instagram.
Yeah,
Who Said What Podcast.
exactly. I said that.
Okay.
Okay,
My bad.
next time.
Okay.
See you next week. Bye.
Have a great day.
thanks for tuning in to Who Said What. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found a bit of laughter, a few lessons, or even a new perspective along the way. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes moments and to stay up to date on what's coming next.